Hi, Elise Dewsberry here, Artistic Director at New Musicals Inc. with another segment in my video blog series, How to Get No Feedback from Elise, and with yet another episode in my mini-series of assignments where I'm giving you things to actually go and do in your own musical and apply some of the techniques and ideas that I've been talking about for the last couple of years. Just as a quick recap, I started out talking about character diction, asking you to go through your script one pass per character and make sure that absolutely everything they say and sing is distinct to that character's syntax, grammar, regionalisms, etc. I then went on to character identification, make sure that you haven't lulled yourself into a false sense of thinking that your audience knows your characters' names and relationships if the only place you've put that is in a stage direction and not actually into anyone's mouth on the stage. Next one was transitions, taking a look at the end of one scene, the top of the next, and making sure that it's literally physically possible for that transition to happen, in particular for the actors, but also for the set, but in particular for the actors. The next one was after the song, taking a look at the moment after every song that you've written and making sure that, first of all, that it doesn't really belong in the song, and secondly, that because you want it to be a new beat, and making sure that that new beat is informed by whatever changes happened during the song. Then I talked about tense, present tense versus past tense, which is the way of making sure that you are observing the tenet of show, don't tell. How do you do that? By making sure that you put as much as possible of your show in the present tense and not the past. So I asked you to explore your script for anything that reeked of past tense and ask yourself whether or not you could activate that by putting it in the present tense and putting it in front of us instead of telling us about it after the fact. And today I'm going to talk about pronouns. And in this, I'm talking about lyrics now in particular. I don't know that it's something that you could apply not to lyrics. You could try it, but it is designed specifically for lyrics. The idea is if you, for instance, one example, if you've left your character alone on stage to sing a song about, oh, you know, I love her so much and I miss her when she's gone, take a look at that and see if you can change that pronoun to you. And what would happen if that character were singing that song to someone, singing, I miss you so much, and when you're gone. And just imagine what would happen. So switch your pronouns. Wherever you have a he or a she, make it a you, and try to see what that would change. It's not going to work with every song you've written, but I want you to explore it with every song that you've written. As the airplane goes overhead, I'm on the Burbank flight path, for those of you interested in knowing. I want you to just imagine how the song might change. It usually would mean that you wouldn't leave the character. Even if you do decide to leave the character alone on stage, you could still do a pronoun switch. Just think about the impact that it might have. And maybe that means sometimes changing you to he. I mean, it's just an exercise. Go through every song in your score and see what would happen if you changed out your pronouns. Just see what a change it would make. Sometimes you'll go, well, that's not a very good change, I'm not interested. But occasionally you might go, huh, well, that changes the impact. And I think you might find that sometimes, in some instances, it's going to make it much more powerful to have a character singing directly to another character. And sometimes you might think to yourself, oh, this is something they could only sing to themselves, and maybe you're right, but maybe you're not. So you should take a moment to think what would happen if they really did sing this to someone, or is there a good portion of the song that they could sing directly to someone, because you still always have the option that they start out singing to someone, and then there's a little, before the last A, there's a little altercation and the person they're singing to leaves and they're left alone to finish out the song, or they finish the whole song and then there's a little mini scene and then the person leaves and then they get a little coda where they sing something that they might not have sung to the other person, and you can still get a bit of both. But I do challenge you to take a look at every song you've written and try and just think through what might happen if you did a pronoun swap and see whether or not that would be a useful thing or not. So it's an exercise, an assignment to try. So officially, this was the last of my mini series of assignments that I put together. I might come back to this another time. Let me know in the comments. Say whether you enjoyed this, being given specific assignments, and I could cook up some more if they've been useful to you. That being said, if there are other topics in general that you'd like me to talk about, I have a list that I'm going through, but I'm always happy to add to it or change it up or try to speak to specific concerns. So please do feel free to email me or put a comment on the video letting me know that what you'd like more of or less of. etc., etc. And thanks for sticking with me through all those assignments, and I hope that they will, combined, that they will have made your musical a better musical, and one that is more likely, if it comes into me for feedback, to get no feedback. Thanks, and toodaloo.